I'm Hannah from Voyager. I'm in the marketing team here and I deal with all the David Awards side of things, and it's always so exciting to see the winners. So obviously you're the winner for the People's Choice Award. Congratulations again.
Thank
But I
you.
just wanted to ask, what inspired you to start your business?
So, a long life story has definitely led me to here, but long story short, had my little boy in 2020. So it was sort of like post-COVID, well, thick of COVID world actually, and had him and had a very little village, didn't have my family nearby, and had a prior journey with my mental health. I was a mental health advocate, suicide prevention advocate, and went into postpartum like pretty aware of what I thought I was entering. And then I sort of went through it in the transition and I was like, okay, wow, okay, I was not prepared for what this is. And it was a real mix of like the physical, mental, emotional, all of it. And I was like, right, there's got to be a different way forward. And so our support starts through pregnancy. So it's, helping people learn about the needs that they might have postpartum. It's doing the prep, it's thinking about food, getting ready for not just baby, but for self as parents as well, or like older children in the home. Often it's so like, and I was that person, I was so excited about baby that it was all about, getting the nursery ready and getting their clothes ready and things like that. And I just thought, I'd be wearing them and I'd just be cooking in the kitchen and doing all the things that I did
Busy.
before. Yeah. I was always so maternal and natural with other people's babies and who babysat. And I was like, right, I'm going to have this in the bag. And then it all sort of, I was like, okay, this is very different. And I was like, it's that line of like, did people warn me about this? Or was I just like, no, it's not going to be me. And so I saw like a real need for like support that met all of that, that came in. So we do, someone that comes in, have you eaten? Have you had a cup of tea? Do you need to have a shower? And then doing food prep, taking care of the laundry. And so really intuitive support that just jumps in, sees the need, does the things. We're not there to hold the baby. We're there to take care of the parents and the home so that they can rest and take care of the baby. And because I just pushed through and, spirals of burnout and I've experienced postpartum depression and anxiety. And so I saw the real correlation between like the physical and that. So just a real intentional step and being able to allow parents, both the physical and the mental space, to just slow down, rest, and recover. So started it based on their own experience, and then just saw how like globally
Yeah.
needed it
Well, it's
is.
such a gap. It's such a gap, It's something that I'm so surprised that there's not more for. It's like they say the baby showers, they all give the presents for the baby and all that kind of thing. It's like, what about the mum? Like,
Yeah.
the mum's the one doing the hardest yards at the moment and later on too, and the rest of the family. So yeah, that's so cool.
And it's just about like normalizing all of it. And because so we've been in business for 3.5 years now, and we just see such a range of homes, so many different, like circumstances, backgrounds, like so many varying physical circumstances that are just so interestingly, like so many common things on that mental emotional front, no matter it's really, really interesting. And I love that because it's a service and it's like you're contracting it out or people getting it gifted at like baby showers or things like that. It makes it so much easier to accept the help. And that's why I created it, is because I know how hard it is. And we talk about like, the village and asking for help and reaching out. But it's really, really hard to do like when we know that our community and the people that we might have around us are busy. Like it's so hard for people to ask for help. And I feel like it's kind of created this little bridge that makes that a little bit easier as well. And not just like with our service as a community. I really wanted to just create something that just creates more nurturing, more support, and makes it easy and human to just be real about like the time that post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess you're right about that community. You have obviously created a community to win this award. Like this award is based on people really believing in your mission and in your business. So it's like, I'm always biased because we always get People's Choice at Voyager, but it is one of the best awards because, yeah, it's your people coming and voting for you. But I also think it's so cool as well for those people that don't necessarily have community, like people have family who are overseas and stuff like that. Your business just fills that need. So that's
Felt
so
that.
yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah, and I love it. So it's like it's real because of the mental health, like advocacy and like suicide prevention, like background. And that's my main reason is that it's like if we actually start here, like if we start here with every home, like if we started there and like nurture parents from like even preconception, like if we start there, it's prevention over correction, it's stopping that like ambulance at the bottom of the cliff. It's reducing the need for like further services down the line. No, it's not the only answer. There is lots of layers to that. But and so like it's just it makes so much sense. And so many people are like, wow, why is there not more of this? Why has this not been done before? Why is this not the standard? And it's like it should be. And I plan on making it be the standard. So watch this space.
No, definitely. Yeah, I think you're so right because there's so much of parenting. They need to be in the best headspace to then be able to parent their kids and their kids' mental health. It's such a flow-on effect.
Yeah. And we have such awareness in this world that we live in now. Like people are raising babies where we're like, right, we know so much about neurodevelopment and emotional needs and meeting all of that. And so we're like parenting in a world where there's like all this information, but like so much work to do that we don't actually have the capacity to be able to like implement it. So by someone just coming in and just being able to like a parent when they walk back in their house to just be like, it just buys them like just a smidge more like time, energy, capacity to just maybe enjoy a moment. So
Yeah.
it's real special.
Special, that's really exciting. So
Yeah.
obviously, yeah, that's why so many people are just so passionate about your business because it really does. It's so much more than a business, I think, is probably the biggest thing.
Yeah. To me, it's not even like, to me, calling it a business still feels really
Yeah.
uncomfortable because
Yeah.
it's not about profit. It's not about making money, but there is that ease of it being like a business versus like a not for profit that does sort
Yeah.
of that makes sense in that too. But that's where I sort of want to go with more funding and grants and things like that to make that more accessible.
That's so awesome, like, just making it accessible. It's not you're right, it's not a luxury service. It's something that everyone should be able to have. What's the most exciting development happening with your business right now?
Currently, we are getting ready for investment. So it's been a plan the whole way along. I've created this support and business alongside raising my own little boy with a lack of a village and life be lifing. So it's been really cool to sort of see it grow and do what it has done organically. So now's the time to just get to that next level of investment into it to create more goodness. So basically that investment will funnel into how can we grow? How can we help more people? How can we make it more accessible? Just like wrapping around our support and more layers, getting more workshop or that preparation, which is really exciting. It's been cool to be in the homes and doing what we do, but like the aim is to create more of that societal change, and that investment's a really beautiful way to be able to do that. And we're really stoked that we've actually had multiple people contact us being like,
Hey.
how can we help you?
Oh,
So
awesome.
it's really cool to be getting that actually in plan and creating that action step to make that happen. Yeah.
Yeah, because it can sometimes feel scary to scale and that kind
Yes.
of thing, because you don't wanna lose, obviously, the essence of what makes your
Yes.
business well, I keep saying business, but you know what I mean, your
Yep.
organization, like, the impact that it has is quite personable and it is quite one-on-one, but yeah, to scale to bring this kind of thing to so many other families and homes, it would just be so well worth it.
Yeah. And but for me, it's like safety is actually the most important thing for me in all of it. So like I could have scaled and I could have grown by
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
but I don't want to. Like being sustainable on my own well-being and my family is a start and the team, but also doing it safely. Like there's no rush because we've got, when we're talking about mental health and babies and children and homes, like I don't take that lightly. Like, and so like
No.
investing in our team's training and making sure that this is seamless and as safe as possible before that scales is like my ground priority.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
so many layers to it too that it's like,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
can
really
imagine.
interesting when I've like worked with business coaches or things like that as well. They're like, oh well, like it is quite complex because it is so multifaceted
Yeah.
and there is that layer of like the mental health and a lot. It's not just like a cleaning service, just like coming in.
No,
It's
you
like there's
can't
so many
standardize it.
more things to it. So it's been really, really cool because I've obviously just come into it with an amazing idea of what I thought the world needed. And it's absolutely like my life's mission and my life path to be
Yeah.
here. And it's a real mix of like I've worked so hard, but I've also it's that like it is that life path. It's just like opportunities have just come for me, which is really special. But I'm ready to sort of start getting a bit more serious on making it happen now. So yeah.
Oh, well, that really affirms that you're kind of on the right track as well, right? Having those resources come to you and people recognize your mission, and that's really cool. Yeah, and I hope this award as well, and hopefully our post out about this kind of help, generate more awareness for what you're doing? Because it is really cool and I think it is so needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, like you say, it's just unbelievable that there hasn't been anything that widespread, until so
Yeah.
it's really cool.
It's really cool because there are lots of other sort of things popping up around the country now of similar natures. And that's really, really cool because people are going to keep having babies and people
Yeah,
are going to need support. So it's so incredible to see like this is starting to become the normal, which is really, really cool. And that's the reason why I entered the awards was because I wanted that exposure, not for any sort of, anything about me. It was like I wanted the exposure so that we can maybe think differently about how we show up for family and friends when they have babies. And I wanted that to make more of a difference. Like that's why I entered was because I was like, we've got to start normalizing this stuff even more than we already are now, but not just like normalizing the conversations around how hard and challenging it can be, but like, right, okay, it's hard, but here's
yeah,
the
what
way.
can you do?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's cool.
Solution focused. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's so awesome to hear that you are kinda, like, hoping to inspire other people to kind of do something along the same format, like, even though you're scaling and it is your life's mission, it is your business, like, for you to just want kind of the awareness, not necessarily them to know about you, but them to know about your mission, I think is, obviously a testament to why you probably won the People's Choice Award, so I'll give you that. Oh, that's so cool. And then, I mean, you kind of already touched on this, but what do you think is next for Dewdrop?
Well, once the investment is there, it will be a more in-depth marketing plan of like phased scaling. So I've always dreamed of it being around the country. So that will be working in different regions, getting to know different DHBs and how systems work in other areas, and looking at ways of how we will grow, whether that is franchising or whether that is more management from afar and just keeping on top of everything. Like you said, that scale and growth I want to keep it
Yeah.
as it is. So just sort of looking at that, but like I said, more in depth support, more wraparound, and creating food packages and that sort of being part of it. More add ons, more nurturing, more in depth support. We've got team members who are life coaches and things like that. So just sort of implementing more depth to meet people where they need to. And yeah, taking that around the country because it needs to be everywhere. Yeah.
I'm sure there'd be so many people that agree with you, absolutely. They want you where they are, I guess, probably.
Yeah, we have that so many times. And that's what I love about it too. People are like, oh my gosh, are you in this area? And it's like, no, but let me find someone who is. And while they might be maybe more like a doula than like the home help servicey type of thing, I think it's so important as female business owners too to like hype each other up and share. And there's no such thing as gatekeeping. It's like just I just think it's so so important. And even here in Christchurch, someone was like, I'm quite sure about you guys. I'd be like, right, go check out this person.
Yeah.
So there are other people in other regions too already doing like similar work. So it's so cool in the meantime to be able to just like even link into them as well.
Yeah. No, again, that's so cool. Again, like I said, I know you're a business, but you're also not a business, like to be able to pass it on, to be able to share it with other people, to make sure that they're getting what they need. Like, I just think that's such a testament to you guys and what you want to do. Like, it's not about, bringing everyone here, because if it's not a fit, then it's not a fit. But yeah, just
It's
make
like
sure it
you're
needs
in
met.
the most precious time in your home. Like it is such a special time. Like you've got to make sure that who is coming into your home
Oh, yeah.
is right for you. And like I'm not for everybody. I mean, I've got like I'm better, I'm not everyone's cup of tea and
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay. And I think it's so important that who you have in your home at that time feels comfortable for you while you're in like such a vulnerable place. Yeah.
That's so exciting. And then, so obviously you've already touched on why you entered the David Awards, but do you have any sort of encouragement for people who are thinking about entering, or, kind of to talk to what you feel like you've gained from entering, whether it's reflection or, anything like that?
I think if you're thinking about it, just do it. Like I found out about it like reasonably close to when I applied and I was like, right, I've just got to do this. And I think I'm so passionate about what I do and I know that the world needs it that I was just like, there's nothing to lose. And I know that it's a lot of the businesses and people who apply have something like potentially like brand spanking new that the world's never seen before. And I think it's just such a cool opportunity that costs no money, that gets the word out if you've got nothing to lose other than trying. And I think it's
Yeah.
really, really cool because you never know who might see that or what might happen for you. And you see these people that are winning awards like year after year after year. It's incredible to see that like people, and they'll keep growing, and go to the next phase. And I think it's important for small New Zealand business to get that recognition more than anything. Just that I think it's cool because when you're applying, you've really got to think about your business and you've got to think about like how, why, how it works. Even the part where you've got to give your financials, like you've got to give them your numbers. Like it's more than just like the idea, like it's actually got to be like quite a feasible, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
sustainable business. And it's quite a cool way to like reflect on that because I did that myself afterwards. I reflected on that side of things. I was like,
Yeah.
right, okay, if I was to apply for this again, how could I fine tune that to make it all? Yeah. So it was and it was fun.
Yeah.
I just think it's such a fun way to get more excited about what you're doing, your investment, what your business. I think it's a great way to like grow. Like I said, with this one, it's cool. Someone might see that. It might be another person that might be like, I'm sitting on a little nest egg. I want to do something
Yeah.
really cool with it. Oh, that's awesome. I'd actually love to do that. And just getting that word out for something that is mission driven as well. Like there was a couple of other people that entered the People's Choice and the whole awards as well that were mission driven, that community, that not necessarily, again, like not business driven, but community and change driven. And I think that, like imperfect parents and things like that, I think that it's a really cool space for people who are doing something that's not necessarily like scalable business, but is important for the world. And I think it's
Yeah.
great way to do that without having to spend money to get that.
Yeah. That's one thing, like, we really noticed that, and I work quite closely with Heather, who runs the award, but she said there's so many that have a kind of a barrier to entry for small businesses. You're either too small or you have to pay for an award or whatever, and it's just really cool to be able to, kind of fill that niche of, just anyone enter. If you're passionate about your business, enter. It doesn't matter where you're
There's
at.
nothing to lose. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not industry specific. It's not, yeah, it's just New Zealand small business. It's really cool to see, like, as the sponsor. I mean, I've only been on board with Voyager for almost 2 years, so 2 rounds. But it's so interesting to see just how creative some small businesses are, and like even like you said, like mission driven organizations. Like people are just so passionate about it, and they may not be huge, they may not have the hugest budget, but it kind of doesn't matter. And it's so cool to recognize them. Like, yeah, otherwise I wouldn't necessarily have known about a lot of the businesses that entered and are finalists or have won without this. So it's so cool. It's really, really cool to see.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Do you think you'll enter again next year? Do you think you'll enter for any of the other awards?
Absolutely do think I will. The only sort of like line there is like how we scale and whether that's happening before then. I don't know how that will look and like how our
Yeah.
scaling and growth will look if we are under the threshold that we can still enter. Absolutely, I would love to. And I'd be going for, those bigger categories. And I, at that stage too, would, like have all the numbers numbering
Yeah.
and background things so that it comes in with not just like hey, we've got a cool idea, this is what we're doing. It's like, we've got a great idea, this is
People
what we're
love
doing, and this is what it looks like.
it.
Yeah.
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 So cool. Yeah, well, I mean, as much as I'd love to see you around next time, I also hope, it's cool that you could scale above that within the next year, that like shows that it's really taking off. So that's so cool. Well, awesome. Well, so nice to get to know more about your business. Wow. I keep saying business, but your mission and what you guys are working towards, it's honestly very honorable, and I think it's really cool. Kind of it coming from your own lived experience and wanting to make that better for other mums and families out there. So